welcome back to the channel, guys. A little bit of a different one today that I'm going to be talking you through. So a little bit more of an educational one. So I'm going to be going through my blood work. So got my blood work done 8 weeks out from the first show of the season, and I just want to run through the findings of my blood work with you, and also obviously some of the things that I'm going to be looking to implement and some of the strategies in place to potentially combat some of the issues that I'm seeing. I say issues, very, very minor things, but first things first, just want to make it very, very clear. I am not a doctor. I am not a qualified doctor. I am, first of all, not telling anyone to do anything on this channel. I am just merely talking about my experiences and this specific experience, obviously, with my own results and sharing these and talking about what I'm going to be doing and within my experience of combating some of these. So just want to run through initially now. So my blood work panel, which you'll be able to see here. I've utilised a company called Eval. I also recommend, and I'll put his page here as well attached, Kellum Sports Therapy, a guy called Matt. Anyone who's based in around the Sheffield, Rotherham area, he's affiliated in with another blood work company who you can get your blood work done through him, and he's the guy I usually go to. But Eval were on my doorstep at the time, being Old Flex Rotherham, so I went and used these guys because these are fantastic also. So in terms of with my results, going to get straight into them. I'm going to literally tick these off one by one in terms of the findings of my results. Now, all in all, it's a very, very good blood panel. I'm very, very happy with what it's come back as at this stage of my prep, due to certain things that I'm implementing as well within this contest prep. So first of all, we're going to look through the full blood count. So you can see here there's a few different things that are a little bit high or very slightly out of range, and this is hemoglobin slightly high, hematocrit slightly high, as well, mean cell volume slightly high. Now, all of these things are potentially going to be induced through the use of anabolics. That's something that I accept. Obviously, I am utilising for this prep an anabolic cycle alongside this, and sometimes these can obviously raise our red blood cell count. If we have a raised red blood cell count, it essentially allows us to perform better. That's one of the side effects, and one of the side effects through utilising things such as performance at PEDs. It can, with increased red blood cell count, increase general cardiovascular endurance and things like that. So as well, that's just a natural byproduct of utilising some of these supplements. Now, this can be actioned on things like regular bloodlets, which I do myself, just to make sure again that I'm constantly looking after that red blood cell count. But all in all, this is not a bad result. Absolutely not a bad result. I'm doing my cardio every day. I'm on top of a very, very healthy diet right now, and this for me is not concerning. But I will more than likely do a bloodlet within the next few weeks, again just to stay on top of this as a reading. So it's slightly high. One being as well, when we look at the white blood cell count, slightly low. I mean, it basically means with that reading, 0.8A, I've potentially had an infection, or my body's been fighting off potentially some slight infection that I didn't really know about because I've not really been that ill. So again, that's not concerning at the bottom of the full blood count score. Biochemistry now, all in all, very, very good. Everything in check as to where I would want it to be. Creatine kinase, so CK, as you can see, is extremely high. Now, this is very, very common. Anyone who's a competitive athlete, competitive bodybuilder in particular, this is a score that we commonly see very, very high. Guys who are training on a regular basis, eating a high protein diet, it is very, very common to see this high. So again, this doesn't really concern me as a score, and again, it's not something I'm really going to be actioning upon or doing anything really and allowing it to majorly concern me, because everything else within the biochemistry side of things is generally in check. Kidney function. So urea slightly high, and this can be elevated through potentially a little bit of dehydration prior to the test, but also we see creatinine high as well. Now again, this can come back a little bit high, just because again utilising certain supplements in terms of with creatine monohydrate, high protein diet. These things can often be elevated. The big one that we should be looking at here is EGFR. And as long as EGFR is not below 60, it's in range, then to be honest, there's no real major concern from a kidney function standpoint. And if you look at these readings, they are very, very slightly out of range. So again, do I need to do anything major to action upon this? Is this a major worry? Not in particular for me, and as to where I'm at. We're going to liver function now. GGT all good. Total bilirubin good. These are some of the two key markers you need to be looking at here. We don't need to, yes, ALT is elevated, but this can often be elevated just through, again, in a high fatigue or a slightly raised fatigue environment, which I am in right now. This is something that we can commonly see that is elevated. So it's often linked as well with creatine kinase. We regularly see this elevated with people who train on a regular basis. Fatigue level slightly high. So again, it's nothing to be too concerned about. Bone screen, all good, no problems whatsoever. We look at my lipid score, and this is something that I was extremely pleased to be seeing, to be honest. The use of anabolic hormones as well can often skew lipid values. Certain use of certain compounds as well can skew certain other things can skew lipid values. And in general, my lipids are all in good health. HDL slightly low, but again, it's not concerning. What I am doing is obviously with my health supplementation stack, I'm making sure that I'm utilizing omega-3. I could potentially bring in krill oil, just again to help raise that HDL, which I will more than likely bring in. Again, just to help with that lipid score. But in general, my lipids are very, very good for this point of prep. As to where I'm at, I am very, very happy with these lipid scores. Hormones. Now, testosterone, I will say I'm obviously utilising at the minute endogenous hormones, so this will raise my testosterone. Now, this is a score I would have expected to be higher. Now, this will probably mean that I need to switch what I'm using in terms of the branding, which I will. I've actioned on that straight away. And this will straight away more than likely impact a raising testosterone score, which, yes, it's still high and out of range. It's not concerning, it's not low, but I would expect this to be higher. And again, this highlights the importance of getting blood work done. The importance of getting blood work done on a regular basis, where you possibly can. Now, it's very expensive to get blood work done on a regular basis. However, with my goals and where I'm looking to try and take this in terms of this season and my goals to go for an IFBB Pro card, it warrants the investment to make sure that I'm looking after all of my scores in terms of not only just from a health perspective, but also from a look. And I'll touch upon that later, but if we've got certain scores that are either massively elevated or not in range, this can impact the look, it can impact training performance, it can impact mood, it can impact fatigue levels, all these different things. It's really important that I stay on top of my blood work throughout this prep, which I will be doing and I will be investing in. So straight away, this is something that for me was one of the key things that I was not concerned about, but I was like, right, this needs action upon. And straight away, I've actioned upon that. In terms of with prolactin, all in range, estradiol, all in range, progesterone, all in range. So again, this was something that in the off season when I got a previous blood work done, it was slightly high. Actioned upon that, and straight away to see it back in range is really, really good. And these are all really, really good for me to be seeing. You'll get LH, FSH, and DHEA, SHBG. All these are obviously going to be downregulated just through the use of endogenous hormones. So again, it's nothing that I'm looking at and thinking this is majorly concerning. I know this is the case. When you utilize endogenous hormones, it will shut down your natural production. So again, these scores are not to be concerning. Thyroid function. Now, this was the secondary thing that I was mainly highlighting. There was two things out of this blood test which was really, really important for me to understand and action upon. One was the testosterone score, which I have done, and the other one was the thyroid function. Now, very, very interesting to see. I'm utilising supplement which will raise T4 artificially, which is everything what I expect to see in regards to that result, but T3 is low. So for me, straight away to action upon this, I obviously need to be utilising a supplement that's going to help raise that, because what we can commonly see is if T4 is raised high and T3 is low, That actually has been proven. Well, I say it's been proven. It's been studied to have an impact on actually causing depression, which is very, very interesting to hear. So it's important that I get this seen to straight away with raising my T3 levels. So that's something that I have straight away action upon, having seen the result. This is a byproduct actually. I'm coming in very, very quickly for this show in terms of from a conditioning aspect, which is great. But raising my T3 levels and actually getting them in range to where they need to be, this is only going to help with that. So actually, it's been very surprising. Well, certainly not very surprising, but it's been interesting to see how quickly I've got in shape. And actually now raising my T3 levels, this will only help impact my ability to get leaner quicker. So I straight away, I expect to see just with this change that I'm going to be making, actually to see a positive impact in terms of with fat loss, which is very, 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 very cool to see and very, very exciting to see the impact of that over the next few weeks just through action upon on my T3 levels. Look at my immunology, no issues at all. Total PSA, no issues at all. Vitamins, folate, slightly low, which I can just obviously supplement in regards to that. Methylfolate is something that I can bring into my supplement stack, but B12 is all good, D3 is all good. So to be honest, like this is a very, very good set in my opinion as to where I'm at. If we're looking at certain things that I can do, potentially a bloodlet in regards to helping with that hemoglobin score, obviously action upon a different brand in regards to testosterone usage, and then from there, obviously from a thyroid function, action upon that in regards to T3. So this is extremely important for me to get these blood works done to give me understanding, so which is actually going to help my prep. It's going to help me get into shape. It's going to help me with understand my health markers, because when I made the decision to jump into going assisted, the biggest thing for me is to make sure that I look after my health, and I was doing it in the most healthy way possible that I could. And these readings are really, really important for me to stay on top of, understand, not only just for what I want to achieve on prep, but also post-prep when I'm looking at being the healthiest human that I possibly can be. In terms of with where things are at, I hope you can take a lot from this and understand my blood work at this point out. I definitely will be still competing. It's not taken away from my contest prep. All markers are where they need to be. We just need to action upon a certain few things, which is only going to help my prep. So thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for tuning in.